this is Stacy Higginbotham with GigaOM, and I'm here with Jimmy Pike, who's a distinguished engineer and director of system architecture at Dell's Data Center Solutions Group. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello.
Jimmy's in charge of the group that builds custom servers for clients such as Facebook and anybody else who wants to buy a whole lot of servers for web scale computing. And today he's going to show us something he built in his spare time in the garage for fun. And Jimmy, you want to just tell us what you did and then we'll take a tour?
Sure. I'm actually not in charge of the group. I'm the director of architecture for the group. So my responsibility is the technical aspects of our products.
The technical brains behind the operation.
Oh, perhaps, yes. So what this is actually something I built in my garage, kind of the super geek in the garage one Saturday, one weekend, and I had this briefcase, and I said, well, gee, I wonder if I could actually cram some of those server motherboards that I have at work in here and see if I can make something useful out of this. So actually, this is what emerged from it. This is a standard toolbox, and I can show you at the other end. You can see that there are actually two unique servers here. Each one of these servers is a dual socket Intel server. It has this one has two L5420s, which is a 2.5 gigahertz Harpertown server. And I've got these configured so that each one of these servers has 16 gigabytes of memory in it. Now, in addition to the two independent servers, there are two groups of disks. There is a set of disks this is for the bottom server. This is the server that I keep as kind of the stable server. And it's got a pair of 3.5 inch 1 terabyte drives, so that's 2 terabytes of storage there on the that side for the lower server. And the other side of the box, you see a pair again of 3.5 inch drives. This is a pair of 1 terabyte 3.5 inch drives that I actually attach to the upper server. So these are the two independent servers that you see. Now inside the box, there's a couple of things that are interesting. One is I have an additional pair of 500 gigabyte scratch disks. So if I'm doing something with RAID adapters or I just need disposable storage of some kind, I've got these two 500 gigabyte SATA drives. I've also got a pair of SSDs. I've got one 160 gigabyte Intel MLC SSDs, and I've got one 32 gigabyte SLC SSD. And I can use those when I need to understand aspects of SSDs. Specifically, the thing that I was doing before you got me was I was actually testing a RAID controller which uses SSD as a read cache, and understand the aspects of that. In addition to the storage, there's actually an integrated 5-port gigabit Ethernet switch, and it hooks these two servers together. And I've also got additional ports if I want to hook other things into it, like if I want to hook my notebook into it or hook it to my network at home, I'm able to do so.
And does that on the outside of the box, or you need to open the box?
Well, they're hooked together on the outside of the box, and if I want to hook something into it, I have to open the box and plug it into the switch. But the way I have this configured is the bottom server is my standard or my stable server. And right now I'm running Windows Server on it, and it's got my images, my testware, things like that. And it also serves as the DHCP server, the domain name server, and a file store for the upper server. Right now on the upper box, I've got it configured running Red Hat Linux, and so I can use it to do testing or whatever I need to do under Linux. A lot of the testware that I have actually works under Linux, and a lot of the things I like to play around with actually works under Linux. And I can use the Asamba store on the Windows server to migrate information back and forth. So in many ways, this is you can actually look at this as a very small data center in a briefcase. It's not for the faint of heart because it weighs about 40 pounds. Disk drives and power supplies weigh a lot. But it's a convenient way for me to do testing and things that I'm interested in and carry them back and forth between work and the office without a lot of trouble.
Okay, and how much energy does it consume? How hot does it get?
So the maximum temperature inside the box right now when it's closed is 38 degrees C. It has 6 40 millimeter fans. I've got the low power, high efficiency fans. So it takes me about 5 to 7 watts of energy per server to cool them. It's got a single 650 watt power supply. This is a 90% kind of efficient power supply. So the total consumption of the two independent servers together with all of the devices is about 325 watts.
Holy moly. All right, and then you talked about further upgrades you'd like to make to this box, such as?
Yeah, I'd like to add wireless to it, so I don't have to worry about hooking actually network cables to it. So if I can find a place where I can actually put an antenna on the outside of the box. And I've actually thought about removing the switch, moving it to another place, and putting a small display here in the box, so I could actually flip it open and actually have a display in it. As it works today, when I'm using it, I either have to hook it to the network or I have to hook it to a KVM, so I can switch back and forth between the servers. That's what I've been doing with it.
Ah, okay. And I got to think, what else might someone do with this?
Well, let's see. I suppose you could use it as a boat anchor. That would work well. So this would be a very interesting toolkit for someone who was either bringing up a data center or who was working with disaster recovery sort of things. The fact that there are two independent servers and there is, in this configuration, 4 terabytes of storage, which could easily be 8 terabytes of storage. The fact that it's got its own contained gigabit Ethernet. In fact, I could turn this on as a web server and hook it to the network somewhere, and suddenly this could be the source of your entire e-commerce site if you wanted to. It'd be kind of a dangerous thing to do, running your business out of a briefcase, but.
That's true, but it could be helpful in kind of precarious situations, maybe countries like Iran.
Maybe.
Okay, and let's see, cost of everything. Obviously, this is not something we're seeing in stores, but if you were to estimate, if I wanted to build one, and I didn't work for Dell, what would...
Well, actually, I was trying to think of how that would go. Yeah, there's a lot of memory in here. There's 32 gigabytes of memory.
We can let you off the hook, too.
So we're talking probably about $3,500, $4,000 if you built it just by going to Fry's and buying parts.
Awesome. So we've got a possibly $4,000 box that weighs about 40 pounds.
$1,000 or $100 a pound. That's true.
There you go. Has 4 terabytes of memory in it, and
no, it's got 4 terabytes of disk.
4 terabytes of disk.
It's got,
that's right.
32 gigabytes of memory.
32 gigabytes of memory. Yes, thank you. Awesome. And I think that's it. Anything else you want to tell us about this?
No, just the ravings of a geek lunatic. That's about the size of it.
Oh, and we forgot you could use it for weights and bench pressing.
Oh yes, if you're looking for a good exercise regimen, it can do that.
Yeah, readers, I cannot lift this box. I tried. It's rather embarrassing. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy.
Thank you.